So we're just sitting at our free camp just out of Doncaster in England, just north of Doncaster in England. And I just thought I'd show you, that's the bridge opening up for the boats to get through, which is pretty friggin' awesome. It's on a balance counterweight. Up she goes, down she goes. We've got narrow boats in the canal here, which is pretty cool. Lots of fly fishing people. To show you the spot. Nice, all level, nice and easy in. Great. We're currently standing in Bolsover Castle, and this was not one that we had penged, but it's actually quite extraordinary, and it was owned by an aristocrat. It's very hard to find parking in town, and apparently the parking guy's a bit of a Nazi, so don't be late. It's amazing. He was a very keen horseman and had stables and dressage. I'll show you. It's fantastic. Got some extra photos in there, but this is where the stables are. It's absolutely extraordinary. Crazy. There's also William Cavendish as the guy, the aristocrat, and there's an amazing audio guide with even audio visual guide. So it even has some excellent depictions of what it would have been like back then, so you can walk through and you can see it. Oh, great stopover, free on your English Heritage Pass. These paintings are called the Temperaments, or in the ante room, which would have been used for guests and business meetings. Currently standing in the hall. Wow. He certainly was extravagant. Love it. It's actually a good way to display art in amongst. It's great. The wall walk overlooking the grounds. Absolutely beautiful. And some more fantastic scenery. What a great view. Obviously wouldn't have looked like that back then. Miss B has discovered there's a kids section on the audio, and instead of all being factual and funny, they're funny, and so they tell you in a bit more simpler terms what's going on. And she was quite entertained to know that in the marble room that they came in here to fart, I believe. Brianne, what's so funny?
Fun?
What's so funny?
They're talking about farts and naked ladies.
Oh dear.
Girls, boys giggling.
Oh. This is where William came to relax, write stories, read. The heaven closet. Cherubs carry the instruments of Christ. Play instruments to celebrate his rise to heaven. This is the Elysium closet. This is the gods and goddesses of Greek history. Elysium closet. And from the window behind me, you can see out over the goddess of love, Venus. So we're in the kitchens, which in these older homes and castles means a variety of various rooms. And there's a back staircase. Look at it. An ale cellar, a wine cellar, sculleries to clean everything, wood and coal ovens. They had specially designed ovens to bake pastries. I love the kitchens. This is my favourite place to explore. Wow. Very big on their pastries, and they would make them very beautiful and highly spiced. Oh, it's fantastic. So in wrapping up, we've actually had a fantastic time here. And also I just wanted to put an end note. We went out and moved the car because 40 minutes was simply not enough. We took it from where it was parked, and there's extra parking, which actually is over that hill on Castle Lane. So I've taken a shot of the entry because it's really small and you may miss it, but then we came back in and continued our tour because we absolutely loved Bolsover Castle.
Wow.
Hi guys, so as we're heading down south from Rochford, where we've just spent a few days with my family member, we have showered and done the washing and cleaned Betsy, everything bar the windscreen as you can see, and got everything sorted. Needed to catch up on some blogging and photos and everything, so we just took our time. You'll see here that it says Dart Charge, pay online as we approach. So when you're heading south, if you're going to go through the tunnel, you need to pay. So you need to make sure you pay. It's like £3 for a camper van size. Now go online and make sure you pay that. because they will issue fines. So some people have online accounts, and so it just automatically comes out like an e-tag or an e-toll or whatever. So just make sure you take care of that before going through. So we've just come out of both the tunnel tour, no video or photos allowed, and the underground hospital tour. Both are fantastic. To think that they were capable of building what they did in the amount of time that they did it is amazing. So yeah, this is one of the more expensive castles if you don't have your English Heritage membership, which it's free if you have that. And I would have to say all the free guides or tours, that was pretty great. What did you guys think?
Excellent.
What was your favourite, Brown?
Probably the hospital one.
The hospital one. It was pretty amazing. The amount of stuff they had in there that was obviously left over from that period was awesome.
And they had, sorry, the lights behind you. And they had actual toilets, not drop toilets.
Yep.
Not other toilets, actual
And it was pretty cool. They had a smelly part, wasn't it? Like they had smells from back then as well. So the mess hall, you got to actually see their dinner and smell it, which was pretty awesome.
And honestly, the dinner was quite nice.
I know, the dinner looks pretty good.
Toilets as well.
We're hungry. Hungry.
Special smells are there too.
There was no smell in the toilet. Oh my goodness. The tunnels that I was just telling you about, there's nearly 4 miles of underground tunnels. It's pretty crazy. Very easy to get lost. We're now heading up to the Great Tower. Du-du-du-du. So we're in the keep at the moment. We've just come up into the bedroom. Very cool. Hi everyone, Leanne from Cake and Eat 3 with the other little Vegemites. We just thought we'd give you a wrap up of England or the UK in general and some of the things that we found, some things that might help you. We'll try and keep it short, so I'll point form it just for convenience of time. We don't want to drag it out. So, average fuel price, whether that be England, Scotland or Wales, we're roughly looking at around 1.32 cents. So yes, it'll vary, but not a lot. That's the general average fuel price, and that's June 2018. In England and Scotland and Wales, all of them lack the usual services like access to water, as in to fill your tanks outside of a caravan park facility, dump points, public toilets in general. It is definitely a lot more difficult than when you go across to Europe. So, speed limit. There are cameras everywhere. When we say everywhere, everywhere. So, do the speed limit. The fines are horrific. So
Huge.
Yeah. You don't want any surprises when you get home. Don't get busted. That's right. One thing in England in particular, but in the UK we've noticed, is that the drivers are really polite. So that was actually just
Probably
more
the most polite drivers I've had anywhere in the world.
Yeah. So that's, you know, that's pretty, that was a nice surprise, or not so much a surprise, but something, you know, that'll make your experience a lot more enjoyable. Service stations, same as everywhere else, more expensive fuel prices on the actual highways, rather than, you know, in the small towns. Out of the way, free Wi-Fi in Tesco's. So whenever you see a Tesco's, you generally got free Wi-Fi in there if you're chasing free public Wi-Fi and you don't have a SIM card. We've already done data in UK and Europe, so as you may know from that, we bought a Vodafone SIM, £30 for 30 days, 20 gig, 3,000 minutes. So far it's doing us really well. We'll keep up to date on that and how we found it and whether, you know, we should have extended that or gone larger. Okay, shopping. So your normal food shopping. So you've got your Lidls, you've got your Aldi's, you've got your Tesco's, you've also got Morrison's, you've got, you know, there's a range of them. Pretty much we budget travel, so, and we cook all our own food. So we would pretty much prefer to hunt out an Aldi, just because they will be good value and fresh and great meat selection. You know, we've been really happy with the food that we've been eating in all of the UK. I mean, how different can it be than back home in Australia? But Aldi, probably first choice. Tesco's have the range. They're a larger store, so of course they're going to have a better range. But yeah, Aldi's number one, Lidl. Now, groceries, a good price. Yep, compared to Australia, pretty much you couldn't get worse. So very on par with what we have back home, if not better, for fresh food, not eating out at like a takeaway place. Memberships. So as you are well aware by now, well and truly through the YouTube clips that we've been doing, we did buy an English Heritage Pass. That has been now an extremely good decision. What started off as we went tick Stonehenge, you know, tick a couple of the castles that we wanted to go to. So we knew we were always going to break even with it, but because we had it, we would drive past castles or, you know, other sites and go, oh, we've got free admission, how about we call in and have a look. A definite bonus for that one was Bolsover Castle, which you saw in this week's YouTube video. That was fantastic, and we would not have paid that amount of money to go in not knowing anything about it and just driving past if we hadn't had that pass, and we had a ball there. So on English Heritage, Miss B just wants to show you her necklace, which is an English Heritage kids program.
So it's owned by the English Heritage, and an English site, or is it across the mainland?
No, all English, and we get half price into some of Scotland's within our membership, but they don't have the actual pop buttons that you collect, so only English sites have the actual buttons.
And each place or site that you go to, you get to collect one of these.
Mm-hmm. And how many are there in total?
There are 9 in total.
So we've got one more left to get, which we'll
Yeah.
get when we get back. And they're just got, you know, they're a great conversation starter. Like, I'm a Roman conqueror, and, you know, I'm a medieval master, and
they each provide.
Hmm?
They each. Well, I don't know what's the word for it, but I'm just gonna go with provide. They each provide a different subject or something.
yeah, and a different period in time, so that we get the opportunity to have a talk about, you know, what sort of clothing they were wearing, what sort of battles were fought then, and the amount of castles that we've gone into. Let me tell you, we're learning all about castles. If you've got young ones and they're wanting to learn about castles, I uploaded to YouTube a book that we came across in Clifford Tower in York, in which it actually explained all about what goes on in a castle, how they were attacked, how they were defended, what the people in the castle did. Anyway, check it out. It's on YouTube. Cake and Eat at 3. Okay, so membership. Yep, great value. Fantastic. And we bought a yearly one because we're heading back at the other end, because with a Schengen visa, we only can be over there for 90 days in mainland Europe. So we're going over there 3 months, coming back 1 more month, and we will continue using it then. So to us, it was great value. So we certainly can't knock it, and yep, we've enjoyed it. Okay, gas for your motorhomes, camper vans, whatever. Okay, so we found them at Camping in General, which is the Southend-on-Sea business. We've found them at some service stations, but Jet Service in Rochford does them. They're expensive, let me tell you. You're going to be looking anywhere up to £19 for a 3.9 kilo bottle. So shop around, do your research.
That was at a local service station, which you expect to pay that little bit more for something like that.
Yep.
Than your normal camping shops.
Yep. But and some of them we've found to have, like, now you swap, you're a direct swap at most of them. You know, check the bottles before you do it, because
you're paying in around £16.50
yep.
pound per bottle. It's still pretty expensive, but what do? You've got to have gas.
You've got to have gas. And on that note, we will come back to you once we're over on the mainland. We will come back to you and let you know how our gas situation went from last year, which we believe we have a solution, and we just want to give it a good go first before we let you know how that's working out. So looking for campsites in the UK, so all of them, Scotland, Wales, England, search for sites. Fantastic.
It's the best one.
Not so much the app.
We've found.
It doesn't get as much support for it and updated as, but ease to use. The website, excellent. 100%. Everything we went.
Haven't had a fail yet.
Haven't had a fail. We've rocked up at every single one of them has been as they said they would be. All the reviews have been great, and I think particularly honest. I've tried to upload.
Locations. They've been good locations.
Yeah, good locations. I think all round we were just really wrapped with it. Great site.
We'll test it in the mainland in Europe compared to Camper Contact.
Camper Contact, or Parkings as it's known. So on the app. So we'll let you know how we go with that. That's actually a paid app, that one, for Camper Contact or Parkings. So I will.
$8.50, I think.
Yeah, for a year. But well worth it too. But we'll come back to you on that one. This is all about Europe. All about England or UK. So search for sites for finding them. Again, we've logged every place we've stayed at that's not a friend on our blog. So GPS coordinates, you can find it, no problem. Okay, auto bits and pieces. Need something for the car, for your travels? Halfords, orange and white. Halfords, they're your auto store. So like our auto barn in Australia, that's who you're looking for. Hardware, like your Bunnings or, you know, bits and pieces, will be B&Q. Again, orange and white, I think. So keep an eye out for those. Camping gear, over here you've got your Decathlon, you've got Go Outdoors, and Camping in General. There, you know, obviously there's going to be others. There's going to be lots of them that you can come across. I think there's a clothing store, one, not Mountain Design, but yeah, heaps of them. But they're your main ones to keep an eye out for, especially if you're buying big or camping equipment that you want tents, burners, etc. There you go too. Inverter setup. Our inverter setup, which we won't show you right now because of the way the seats rotated, but our inverter has been invaluable. We need to charge cameras, laptops, you know, photography gear. You enjoying yourself there, darling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Telescope.
It's a good imagination. No
pirate ships, love?
No pirate ships. There's a few P&Os I can see on the water down at Dover, ready to
where they charge us to go over.
They're
the pirates, the new pirates.
And
so the inverter, gotta have it. There will be a link on the blog for who we used, because fantastic situation that we got told about for some mates, in that you need parts delivered, goods delivered, and you don't have an address in England, you can actually get it delivered to any Morrison store. Check out the blog piece, it's all in there. Fantastic service. So we were able to get the inverter shipped ahead of us, go there, pick it up from a locker, done. Great experience. Anyway, it's in the blog piece. Okay, insurance. again, when we bought the van, which is also on the blog, about buying a van in the UK, we had to use HIC. Now, HIC is an insurance broker, and they find out what's best for you. As an Australian, we don't have access to half the amount of places that are out there for residents of the UK. But, you know, I think it was roughly £750 for six months. Youch. Anyway, gotta have it. There you go. Travel insurance we sorted before we left home. We used Southern Cross travel insurance. We used them last year. We didn't need to claim, so you know we can't say we haven't got any experience with them with regards to claiming, but we were really happy with their conditions. We were really happy with what they did cover, and we thought they suited what we're doing really well, so that's who we went with. Foods when leaving the UK. Last year when we left the UK to go across to Calais and did the southern part of Europe, we really had trouble locating baked beans in some places. We could not find decent bacon, so pretty much this time we stocked up. We've got our Moby Cool or Waco, whatever you call it over here. We've got that stocked up with bacon. We've got our baked beans, and so we're happy campers. Excuse the pun. And just a last note for females, I noticed last year that this was an issue with feminine hygiene products. You know, make sure you take them with you from home, so then you know what you're getting. Every country's different with what they have available and what they have in their shops and what have you. Just take them from home and it's not an issue, because it's one of the last things you want to have to deal with while you're on the road. So there we go, England. Of course we love it, we've got family here, but United Kingdom done until we get back. September we'll be spending back over here, and we'll update anything that we've come across then. Alright, signing off. So here we go, we are boarding our P&O, our first P&O, which is actually quite ironic because we're not sailing to somewhere exotic. But booked online, £141 return through direct ferries. Even though there were different options available for P&O and direct ferries to book, I hit direct ferries and I'm still getting on P&O, so work that out. We basically have to be here an hour before, and it was all pretty well organised, pretty straightforward process. Just sit and wait in your vehicle or out. Be back by the time you take off. Oh, here we go. So last year we took the train, as you might recall, and this year we thought, no, we want to try the ferry, because the train was going to be something in the vicinity of £240–250, and we went, no, let's give the ferry a go. So we saved £100 in the process, which, you know, a couple of $100 for our Australian money is well worth it. So let's see how she goes. As we turn around here, we've got our white cliffs of Dover. We were learning yesterday at the amazing feat and the residents of Winston Churchill going against most of his cabinet, or whatever it was called in those days, to basically not give in, not surrender. And he ended up rescuing over 300,000 troops at like the last minute off of Dunkirk, which is where we're going to be visiting when we arrive in Calais. Just sitting, enjoying a, show me Dad, Starbucks. My very first, and Brett even thinks his very first, which is quite funny.
Sponsored by Starbucks.
Yeah. Not quite. But we don't normally buy coffee or food on these things, but it was cold, it was early. We needed a hit, what can we say? Hey Brown, what's the first thing we're going to do when we get to France?
Go to the shops and buy pate in a baguette.
What's the first thing you're going to do, Brett?
Hang out at Carrefour.
Yeah, free Wi-Fi,
Yeah,
pate.
Pate, soup de poisson.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, baguette and jambon.
Oh, yum,
Fromage.
yum, yum,
C'est bon ça.
yum, yum. And we are now in France. And as you can see, it's nice Aston Martin, classic. Straight away, look at the difference in security. Oh wow, look at that one.
Bentley.
Wow, this is fantastic. Security, look at the, look at it, crazy. I actually just saw a bird's nest in one of those razor wires. It's like nothing like building your home in a secure environment. So yes, France on the other side of the road. So yep, got to get used to being on the other side. Brett's a very good driver. Driven in so many different countries that, you know, it's sort of second nature. But it's always the first initial...
Touch wood.
Yeah, touch wood. But always the initial, when you just arrive, that it's like, oh, yep, on the other side. So here we go, Carrefour, here we come. So, some obvious things straight away. Carrefour will have Wi-Fi, definitely, which I'll confirm. Bins, easily accessible. And designated motorhome parking spots in the shopping centre. And dump points, unbelievable. And we've only been in France half an hour. Crazy. We love you, France. So, we're currently just gone for a walk down the beach and we're standing in one of the bunkers that we learnt about yesterday. Where are we, Bum?
Dunkirk?
Dunkirk. Good job. And the videos that we watched yesterday and the carnage that happened on this beach as over 350,000 soldiers from varying countries waited to be rescued. The actual tour was amazing and I highly recommend it at the Dover Castle, but just what would have happened on this beach all those years ago. It's nice to know that they did actually leave them. The wind's going to get me, but I'm going to swing out anyway and show you. What's a little bit of sand in one's shoes, hey? Oh yeah, that's right, we're in a camper van. We should not be encouraging this. Looks fun though.